It was another peaceful afternoon on the ranch. I had just returned from a quick supply run into town, pulling my old pickup into the driveway. Dusty, tired, and ready to kick back with a cold drink. I barely had time to set the keys on the counter before the sound of a frantic voice came crackling through the radio on my porch. 911. What's your emergency? Karen. Of course it was Karen. I stepped outside to see her standing at the edge of my driveway, waving her arms like she was trying to land a plane. This is an illegal parking violation, she shouted. Someone is occupying HOA land without authorization. I blinked. Karen, this is my driveway, my property. I've owned this land for over a decade. She gasped. That doesn't matter. The community bylaws clearly state. Before she could finish, I heard the distinct roar of a sheriff's cruiser approaching. Karen's eyes lit up. Finally, the authorities. The car pulled into the driveway, lights flashing. The door opened slowly, and there, stepping out with a calm but commanding presence, was my son, Deputy Ryan Dawson, now a fully sworn sheriff in his own right. Karen froze mid-rant. I called 911 for a legitimate complaint. Ryan's eyebrow arched. Really? You called 911 because someone parked on their own property? She sputtered. I mean, yes, to report a violation. I leaned back against the truck, trying not to laugh. Son, you might want to tell her what the property lines actually say. Ryan pulled out a tablet, swiping through the county records. According to our land registry, this property is 132 acres, fully deeded to your father. That includes the driveway, the barns, and all surrounding areas. HOA has no jurisdiction here. Karen's face went pale. I thought. Ryan interrupted. Yes, ma'am. Thought incorrectly. And technically, filing false reports to 911 could get you a misdemeanor. Karen, realizing she had been completely outmaneuvered, started muttering about appealing to the board and community enforcement. Ryan smiled coldly. Ma'am, you're on private property. Your only course of action is to leave. She backed up slowly, tripping over one of the flower pots I had installed near the driveway edge. Thor, my canine shepherd, emerged from the barn, giving a single sharp bark, just enough to remind Karen that this ranch had more protection than she could imagine. Karen bolted, leaving her clipboard behind. Ryan picked it up, shook his head, and handed it to me. She called 911 because she couldn't accept the reality, he said. Don't worry, Dad. I handled it. The next day, the HOA received a strongly worded letter from the county sheriff's office, highlighting the false emergency report and reminding them that my property was fully exempt from any HOA regulation. Karen tried to issue an apology via email, but it was short-lived. After Ryan confirmed the facts with the board, the HOA quietly removed her from all leadership positions, citing unprofessional conduct and repeated interference with private property owners. That evening, I sat on the porch with Ryan and Emily, sipping iced tea and watching the sunset over the fields. I chuckled. You know, having a sheriff in the family is pretty convenient. Ryan grinned. Just doing my job, Dad. But I have to admit, it was kind of fun watching Karen panic. Thor wagged his tail in agreement. And Karen? She never called 911 on the ranch again. Every time she drove past, she slowed down, glanced at the driveway, and remembered the day she learned who really held the law on this property. Smiling face with sunglasses police car.